Okay, so today is going to be a clip-heavy day. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I made a little right now. I'm going to present my screen to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what I did was I only broke down two of your games. That third game was like a baseline angle, and it was really hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I did these two. I focused on the two categories that we kind of talked about, which was catching and shooting, and then also rim attack. And then I kind of did some extra bonus clips just to kind of show you what you look like when you're aggressive and to show you what you look like when you're not aggressive. Okay.
Okay.
The red and green is kind of subjective. For the most part, it's red if you made it, green if you didn't. But sometimes it's green because even though it didn't go in, you did something good. Sometimes it's red, even because something bad happened. I don't remember exactly what happened, so we're gonna watch them together. Actually, what
Okay.
we'll do is we'll watch the clips together, um, and then we'll watch the clips together, and then if you notice anything like before, we'll just talk it through, okay? And what my plan is to watch all of the catch and shoot, and then we kind of talk about it. Watch all of the rim attack, and then we'll talk about it, okay? And so on and so forth. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna present my screen a different way, just so that I can go back and forth with things. Mm. Come on, internet. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go through catch and shoot first, okay?
Okay.
If you see something right away that you notice, you can bring it up and talk about it. Otherwise, if I and the same with me, if there's something that we really want to talk about it at that time, we'll talk about it. If not, I'm just gonna play all the clips in order for the first game, and then we can talk at the end.
Okay.
That's the first one. That's the second one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the third one. 22, 26. Fourth, and then this is the last one. Cool. So those are all five of your catch and shoots for the first game. You went, I believe, 1 for 5 from three that game. That last one was the one that you made. I'm gonna give you a chance first. Is there anything that you noticed or anything you want to talk about?
On the first shot, I noticed that I hesitated before I shot it,
Yeah.
and then
You
most
did.
of my shots were long.
Yeah. I saw both of those.
And that's all I saw.
Cool. I think those are good observations. I think what I was watching as a coach is the first thing I was watching is footwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because footwork is the base of your footwork is the base of shooting, because when you have good, proper footwork, what it allows you to do is have every shot be the same. And when every shot is the same, it's really easy to get better at it because you just make minor adjustments here and there as you go. To me, your footwork looks good. There's not a lot. There's not a lot that I would change. Like you had 1-2 action. You had where you're catching and stepping forward. You had hop action. I think your footwork is good. I do think something that we should kind of focus on again is strengthening that base and giving yourself a little bit more lift on your jump shot. I know we talked about it before. When you're able to give yourself a little bit of lift on your jump shot, it helps you make up for mistakes. Because if you're a little bit off balance, you can fix it in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whereas if you're not jumping a lot and you're off balance, it's really going to affect your shot.
All right.
I noticed something cool on this last shot, which is going to be a recurring theme to some of the things that we talk about, but I want to show it to you again. 35. Okay, I want you to tell me what you did before you shot the ball. Really, before you got the ball.
I called for it.
Yeah, you called for it, and you knew it was going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a reoccurring theme that we'll talk about. Is just the idea of what aggressive play does to you, what aggressiveness and what aggressiveness and rhythm kind of do for you. All right, and that's something we'll talk about as we go. But those are all the clips from the first game, from the first game. So you said shots were long. First shot, you hesitated.
Mm-hmm.
You also said that last shot that we showed, you called for the ball. Something that I kind of talked about is your footwork looks good. I think strong base and more lift is going to help you. But other than that, I think if you get up a lot of reps and good reps, and we'll talk about that more a little bit in the second game, what a good rep will look like for you, your shooting will be there.
All right.
So let's take a look at the second game, okay? This second game, you shot a lot better. I think you were 3 for 5 from 3. Okay, the first one is 225. Let's play it back low. That's the first one. Something I want to say is notice the range of that shot and notice how much space you were given.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep that in the back of your head. Here's the next one. Bang. What I noticed was you set yourself up with a little bit of movement, which is really good. Mm-hmm. And you also knew you knew when you caught that ball, you had enough space to let it fly.
Yeah.
Going up. Here's the next one. Boom. Giving space, hand down, man down. Went through. 1805. Same situation as the last, but it was missed. And then the last one. Catch and shoot, hit the side of the backboard.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so those are all your catch and shoots for that second game. Let's start with you. Anything that you notice? Anything that sticks out to you?
Well, not this one, but the one before, I noticed I hesitated on the shot again. And then that's all I really noticed for these.
Yeah. Anything good?
I made a lot more than the last one.
Yeah. And that's not something to overlook, okay? There's a reason why you made more this game than you did the last game. Some things that I noticed were that time you created a little bit of movement to get yourself in an open spot. The good thing was that's not an easy shot to shoot necessarily because you are flashing from the high post out to the 3-point wing, so your momentum's going away from the basket, but you're able to stop, collect yourself, good footwork, step into the shot, you're balanced, okay?
All right.
And you didn't hesitate on that. I did notice there was that very last shot that you had. It was the same situation as before where they're giving you space, but they contested it a lot better. And you hit the side of the backboard on that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also noticed that you made your first shot, which is something that we're going to talk about right now. So I think it really, when you made your first shot, the shots that you shot later down the line tells me that you are getting confident. And that's a good thing. Like you made your first one, which was a simple catch and shoot, right?
Yes.
It was a little bit off the line. It was like 3 or 4 feet off the line, but there was no contest. You had your time. Like you could take your time. You knew you can get it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second shot you shot was out of a little bit of movement. You flashed to the high, then you stepped out. You saw he was coming out to contest, but not quick enough, and you let it fly and it went in, right?
Yes.
That third one, you caught the ball in the wing, hand down, man down. You looked him right in the eye and you made it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So from catch and shoot with no pressure to a little bit of movement with no pressure to the guys in front of me, but no pressure. And then the next two, you had guy in front of you with a decent closeout and you missed those two. Okay. Yeah. So what that tells me is there's not like your shot is good. What we probably need to focus on to get good reps in for you is to really simulate getting that ball off quick so that you're not sitting there sizing it up. You know what I mean? You're not sitting there measuring the shot. What you're doing is I got enough room. My mechanics are exactly the same every time. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it fly and it's going to go in because I've done this thousands of times. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's kind of what I noticed with your catch and shoot stuff. So let me write some of that stuff down. I didn't write it down. Okay, so I wrote down confidence grew as you made more shots. You were a good shooter when there's no contest. You missed your shots when there was a contest. Okay.
Okay.
And remember, this is just data on these games. I'm not talking about you as a person or you as your skills. We're just evaluating what we have in front of us. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So we saw those two different games. One game, shot the ball, but you didn't make a lot. The second game, you shot the ball and you made a good percentage. Do you see anything different? Do you feel anything different between those two games or anything like that?
Well, what you were saying is probably since I made the first shot, I had more confidence going into the other shots because the first game we played, I missed like most of my shots until the last shot I shot, I finally made one. So
yeah. Do you remember that game at all?
Kind of. I remember shooting and like missing a lot. I was like just wondering when I'm finally gonna make one, stuff like that.
So you remember like missing shots being in your head?
Yeah, I remember missing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a really good point because I think confidence is a huge thing for you, Sean. You look completely different when you know that you want to score. You look like a completely different player. Your shot looks more fluid. I think making the first shot always helps a shooter, right? It always makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like, okay, I made one. That means I can afford to miss one, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. I think what we need to work on is remember some of those crackback drills that I made you do, where it's like you got to make 10, and it's brutal, and you can't it's so hard to get there. Mm-hmm. And if you remember what I'm screaming in your ear is good shooters are mentally tough. which means good shooters can see 100 misses, but know or trust that they can make the next one. And that's just reps, man. That's just reps. Okay. And good reps, though. Good reps. You're not there just taking your time shooting. You're shooting real quick shots, quick release, all that stuff.
All right.
Okay. Do you have any questions or any talking points for catching and shooting?
No, but like just going off what you were saying, I know I've been needing to work on getting a quicker release because like even in high school when like we'd practice, we have some athletic guys and like I'd shoot and they'd block it a lot most of the time.
Yeah. That's a good reflection point. That's a good thing to notice because if you need less time to get your shot off, number one, you'll probably get more shots off. And number two, if you're used to shooting with little space, your opportunities to score or how comfortable you are in those situations go up. Okay. Those are two good things, two good points you had there. I'm going to write that down. Okay. The other thing with getting your shot block, Sean, is lift is going to help it too.
Okay.
If you're able to jump a little bit, it'll help it too. Okay. You ready to go to rim attack?
Okay.
Okay. Is it small for you? Should I present my screen again?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to present my screen. Okay. So again, I'll just run through them. If there's anything that we absolutely want to talk about, we can talk about it. Otherwise, we'll save it for the end, okay?
Okay.
And some of these we've seen before from our last session, but I think it's still worth it to look at them all together. What's the first one? Second one. My fault. It's a catch and shoot. 738. That one I wanted to show you because if you look at the two circumstances, look at this one. It's going to be dribble, handoff. You have room to drive left to the middle. Okay. And the very next one is the same situation, and you didn't take it, which tells me you're not confident in this situation. Okay.
Okay.
Same exact circumstance. You had the whole hole to the left, and you didn't want to take it. I just want to show you that. It just gives you an opportunity to work on something, okay?
Okay.
Here's the next one. And the last one. Okay. Those are all your rim attacks from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Anything?
Well, like
anything
what we said about the last one, about me getting a stronger base, and then I didn't finish that well that game either.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
That's all.
Okay. I would definitely agree with you with the stronger base. A lot of those times you looked a little off balance, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We got to get you on balance. I want you to be able to hit people rather than get hit and then fall off your driving line. And yeah, you did not finish well. Something that I noticed was you had, I think every single finish was a different finish. There was a 2-foot floater, there's a 1-foot floater, there's a Euro step. Well, you did 2 Euro steps. One of them you got fouled. There was one where you took off on 2 feet in traffic, and you tried to go to the rim. So you had used a lot of different finishes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of how you're trained, is you're trained to have a lot of different finishes. But what I've noticed from you so far, Sean, is you're a confidence player. You want to feel comfortable, and you excel when you feel comfortable in a situation. And I think that you can do a lot of different finishes, okay, but you're not comfortable enough with any of them to be really good and like say, I'm scoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna focus on some rim attack, it's let's get something down so that you're an expert at it. So if it's a 2-foot floater, hey, I can shoot a 2-foot floater. I know when I can shoot it. I know what situation I'm going to shoot it in. And if I can get it off clean, it's going in. Rather than let's work on floaters and Euro steps and 1-foot floater, 2-foot, all these different things, because I don't think you've mastered any of them.
Yeah.
And when you don't score, you don't score off the things that you've worked on, it starts bringing down your confidence level,
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you made your first 2-foot floater, just like you made your first 3-pointer that last game, you probably get a little bit more confident and you're going to do something else. Okay? So that's something that I noticed, just a lot of finishes, a lot of different finishes, and not any of them mastered. The best one was probably that semi-fast break where you did a Euro step, like got around them, good finish. That was probably your most confident one. All right, the next film, there wasn't a lot, but I want to show you it still. I got to present my screen, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since there's not a lot, we're going to watch that one twice.
Okay.
And then I'll play you the next one too, twice. Okay, and the next one. What'd you notice?
Well, in the first one, it seemed like I really drove with no purpose. I just seemed like I tried to attack and I didn't really do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I noticed for the first one. I didn't really notice anything about the second one.
Yeah. Okay. So what I noticed was that first one, it looked like I think you got a rebound. Either way, you got the ball on the other half of the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you drove down, and I think you did drive with the purpose of, hey, I'm gonna go by you.
Yeah.
You were looking to score, and I like that. I could tell in your demeanor that you were trying to be aggressive. Where you failed was after you made the move, you didn't go anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice what happened to you?
I just kept going in a straight line, and then the other guy helped on the left, and he stole the ball.
Yeah, he bodied you up and he rode you off your line. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the same. I mean, that's just more of the same of getting stronger. I would say getting quicker, but I think right now what would benefit you more right now is getting stronger because the way that you play, especially like when I watch you post up somebody smaller than you, you like the contact. So I would say getting stronger is more important for you right now. What about that second drive? Anything?
The second one, I didn't really notice much.
You went left. So this is to kind of tack on to your good shooting, right? When you shoot well or you do something well, it opens up. When you do one thing well, it opens up something else. So you're shooting the ball well on this game. You caught the ball and gave him a little, not necessarily kind of like a mini pump fake, kind of like a hesitation. Hey, I might shoot. And because you're shooting well, he stepped forward. When you noticed that, you went right by him left, and that's exactly what you should do. And you scored left. You had a good left-handed stretch out finish. What I do notice though is, and I'll play it back for you one time, is again, even though you got there, he rode you off your line. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. So just watch kind of your struggle getting to the rim, even though you did get there. Okay.
Okay.
Good, made him jump. And he was able to not give you a direct drive, right?
Yeah.
You got there, but you had to work for it. I would think that's the same thing. Get your base stronger, because what's going to happen is if your base is strong enough and you get that 1 inch on him, he's not going to be able to recover. Okay.
Right.
And that's just going to make your game better down the line.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to stop presenting. I'm going to go to that main page. Okay. Some things we noticed with drive is, you said that first one you weren't driving with purpose. I would say you were driving with purpose. We got to get that base stronger. I think that's really what it is.
Okay.
Not so you don't get bumped off your line. All right, that's all for rim attack. I do want to recap a little bit with you because I know like a lot of players, when they say they want to work on their handles and stuff, they don't think about they don't think about things like this. They don't think about getting a stronger base. They think that they need to get their handles quicker, right? But the reason what handles really are, or what moves really are counters to a straight line drive, right? So if I'm coming down and I am LeBron James, 245 pounds, and you're like, if all he has to do is hesitate and get by me, you're scared, right? You're on your heels. You're like, dude, like, what am I supposed to do? And then when a defender isn't confident, when they're scared that they're going to get blown by, moves work, right? So if you ever guarded somebody, if you guard somebody that has a ton of handles but doesn't that like can't get by you. I call those guys, they got nowhere handles. They're gonna dribble in a circle, but they're not going anywhere. And that's because there's no threat. The defender is not threatened that they're gonna go by him at all. So you can dribble all you want. I don't care. But if you notice guys that have legit handles that can get by people, it's because there's already a threat that they're going to get blown by. And for you, I think, so watching film, in person, you seem a lot faster. On film, you don't look that fast. So my initial gut is, well, if he's not quick, he can be strong. And strength is just as good as quickness in the half court.
Okay.
Because you can still blow by people, All right. The last part we're going to watch is some aggression film breakdown. We're only going to do one game for this one.
Okay.
Because I think one game has enough, and you're going to get what I'm trying to tell you real quick here. Okay, you good? You can see that screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I labeled this a good possession by you.
Okay.
Call for the ball. Low, explode, got by, got fouled. But my number one was, hey, you call for the ball, which means this is a situation you're comfortable in, which is something that I like. Okay.
Okay.
323. This is something that I labeled a good possession for you. Okay. So even though you turned the ball over, I labeled it a good possession because you're doing something that you weren't willing to do in other clips. You brought the ball up. Okay. Not only did you bring the ball up, you brought the ball up, and then you caught it in a dangerous area. And you looked for this dish off, which is great. I think the only problem with this is I think you were looking for the dish off the whole way. Would you agree with that, or do you think you were trying to score first?
No, I was probably looking for the pass first.
Yeah. So the best way to create a good pass is to make yourself a threat. Because if you make yourself a threat, even if you take one step either way, this guy's going to commit. Okay. And once he commits, the passing lane becomes bigger. Rather than not attacking at all, he sits in that lane. And I'm not sure what you saw, but that's a bad pass.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Okay. I labeled this bad. Not that hit-aheads are bad. Hit-aheads are good, right? But I'm thinking about you right now, Sean, not the team. And right now you're hitting a head for no reason, in my opinion. I mean, is this guy your point guard or anything like that? Is he supposed to have the ball in his hands?
No.
Okay. So you made a 3-foot pass ahead of you. All that tells me is you don't want the ball right now. That's what it tells me. Okay. And remember, basketball, it's okay to not want the ball. Like, it's okay to be like, in this situation, I'm tired, or you can be like, I want to move around to get my feeling or whatever like that. But just remember that basketball is a rhythm game. Okay. So if you are giving the ball up so that you can be aggressive in another situation, that's good, right? Like, I'm going to give the ball up because I see, I don't know, the baseline's open right now and I'm going to move to the open spot. That's good. But if you're giving the ball up saying, I don't want to be aggressive right now, that's bad because basketball is such a rhythm game, you can't turn on and turn off. Even the best of players can't do that. The best of players have more success at it, but turning on and turning off kills your rhythm. It kills your confidence. It makes you start all over again. So what I would like to train, what I would have you think about is to be mentally strong to where even with mistakes, you can build rhythm. Okay. And that's what I kind of talk about with missing shots and stuff like that. All right.
Okay.
Okay. We got a couple more. Good possession. Dribbled with purpose. You're coming downhill. Your head is up, and you happen to make a pass instead of attacking for yourself. But good possession because you're in an aggressive mode right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. Same. You already saw that one. I labeled it a good possession because you're coming down in an aggressive mode still.
Okay.
All right. What do you think I labeled that one?
Could you replay it because it kind of froze?
Yeah, I got you. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I know you're playing to the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're looking at the clock for the last shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was that defender read that you are zero threat right there. The defender said he's zero threat. Look at his body posture. Look at how he's dribbling. I'm going to cheat this gap because, well, I'm not scared. I don't need to help.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look. One more time. All right. Someone's yelling clock, so you're looking. That's fine. It's good. Take the last shot. But look at your posture. Okay. All right. Next one. This is a good possession. Boom. What's the first thing that you did?
I called for the ball?
Yeah. You called for the ball. This is a spot I'm comfortable in. I'm scoring right here. And you made a great move. You missed a bunny, but you made a good move. Okay?
Okay.
Next one. We got 3 more. Bear with me. I labeled that a bad possession. Or just not an aggressive one. It's not a bad possession. It's just not aggressive. You're passing the ball to get rid of it. And then we got 2 more. One's good and one's bad. And play that one a little bit further back. I like that you attacked, but I don't like the intensity that you attacked with.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't make any body contact. You weren't trying to go at him. You were just trying to finesse your way around him. All right, last one. This is a good possession. What did you do? What was the first thing you did?
I called for the ball.
Yeah. Common, right? Or
Yeah.
the pattern there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Is there anything that you noticed on these aggression clips that we kind of talked about?
The negative ones I noticed just like I didn't really have a plan on attacking or getting a shot off or getting someone else open, really. I was just passing it up.
Good. Anything else?
And then the aggressive ones, I was low and calling for the ball because I wanted to score.
Yeah. Cool. What I noticed is exactly same thing that you said. And basketball, like you don't have to come down and be you don't have to have a plan to score every time you come down the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you have to do is keep your body ready to take any opportunity that presents itself. So what that means is you have to be looking to score every time. You don't have to actually try to score. So if you come down court, body posture low, ready to explode out of a stance, any chance you get, that's good. Because what that also does is it keeps your body ready to score, but it also makes the defense have to pay attention to you because you look like a threat. Okay.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I noticed, same thing that you said, anytime you wanted to score or anytime you wanted to do something, you pretty much were able to do it. At least, you might not have made the shot, but you did what you set out to do. Like, hey, ball on this block, I'm going to take advantage of this small guy. And you did, right? There's another clip that I missed in here somewhere. I don't know how I missed it, but it was a step back. You did a one dribble step back. Actually, you know what? I think I know where it is. I'm gonna show it to you just because it was my favorite clip of you, out of this whole thing that I watched. Hold up, let me find the clock. 7:10. All right, I think it's this one. Yeah, that's my favorite clip. I'm gonna show it again. Dang. That's my favorite one. What'd you think about that one?
That one, I noticed that he was running at me hard, so I pump faked, and then he stayed on me a little, so I did a step back to get a little more space.
Yeah. Does it feel good to watch that clip?
Yeah.
Did it look good to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good to me. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited, mostly because you were aggressive. That's really what it is. Even if you missed that shot, I would have been like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Okay. So we got a final recap. I'm going to share my screen again so we can look at this together.
Okay.
Okay. So today we talked about the two scenarios is your catch and shoot, right? You said you should actually go on here. So what are you most comfortable with is your catch and shoot. I would agree with that. Your footwork is good enough. There are some things that I would change. That's why we talked about quicker release and a little bit more lift on your jumper. Those are minor tweaks, though. Okay? Quicker release really isn't a tweak at all. It's just you getting used to shooting faster. And then lift on the jumper is something that you will have to focus on, but this is kind of two-pronged. Because if you get your base stronger, you're going to be more comfortable with more lift. So these are kind of two things working together. Anything that you want to add to that?
All right.
Are you good?
Yeah.
What was happening?
It was like going in and out. It was like making some weird noises.
Oh, weird. Okay, let me try it again. Can you see it?
I just
Let me try this one. Is that working?
It's the same thing, I think.
Can you see
Oh,
that?
wait, no. Yeah, I see it now.
All right, cool. All right. So we talked about the situation catch and shoot is your most comfortable. Some things that we talked about before. What kind of player do you want to be with catch and shoot? You said you want to be a knockdown catch and shoot player. You want to be consistent with your jumper. Something that we added today is having a quicker release and getting some lift on your jumper. And like I said before, lift will be it's going to be a two-prong. It's going to be tag teamed with getting your base stronger for your rim attack, because if you get your base stronger for rim attack, you'll have your base stronger for lift on your jumper as well. Okay?
Okay.
Now, how do we get there? Last week, you talked about you're going to shoot every day. Did you do that?
Yes.
Cool. In-game shots is something that we're going to define right now, because we said in-game shots. So what were your in-game shots this week?
It was like the catch and shoot shots with I didn't really have any I guess it wasn't really in game. It was just catch and shooting.
Cool. Are you by yourself or do you have a rebounder?
I have a rebounder.
Cool. Okay. So I would say this week to focus on quicker release. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing, catch and shoot, but be really, really conscious about getting this ball off quicker.
Okay.
Okay. So not sizing up your shot. You have to be able to, like, in a quick glimpse, get that shot off. Something that I used to do is I didn't have a rebounder, so I would toss the ball in front of me, and I would be looking at the ball in my hands. And the second it made contact with my hands, I'm going up and shooting and finding the rim as I shoot. Okay? So don't look for the rim first. Find the rim as you shoot.
All right.
Okay. I think that's a good plan for moving forward with that. The other thing we talked about is rim attack, getting a strong base for rim attack, trying to get through with contact. Something that we said, what do we want to be? You want to be able to finish consistently. You want to be able to take contact to get through the free throw line. I think something that we added today is to really focus on mastering finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So instead of working on all of your finishes, pick the one that you feel most comfortable with and get really good at that first, and then let it build.
Okay.
You said leg workouts. Were you able to do some leg workouts this week?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the next step to that is continue leg workouts, but how are we going to focus on mastering a finish? Do you have one in mind that you want to get really good at?
Floaters.
Which one? 2 feet, 1 foot?
2 foot.
2 foot floater. Okay. So that's your homework. Quicker release and then 2 foot floater, along with the stuff that you've been doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. What's your biggest takeaways from this session? Is there anything that sticks out to you?
About the stronger base. I never thought of having stronger base will help me finishing like that. Help me finish better.
Cool. Sweet. That's a good focus point for you then. Anything else?
You're just adding on to what I already knew that I had to work on my quicker release.
Cool. For me, my biggest takeaway from watching your clips this past week was really what kind of player you are when you are confident and you are in rhythm, to what kind of player you are when you decide that you're not going to be aggressive this possession. They're night and day. Okay. And what I would challenge you to do is, it's a mental thing. This part is a mental workout, to be able to understand that you can continue building your rhythm and your confidence even through mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're shooting this week, even when you're missing, keep telling yourself, "Oh, I'm getting better though. I'm getting better though," every time you shoot, because that's going to translate to keeping your rhythm in a game when you make mistakes. Okay.
All right.
There is something else that I want to say. What else did I want to say? There was one more. Not just confidence, not just aggression, building rhythm. Oh, your games. These are Asian League games, right? What are they called? I wasn't part of the organization. Seo games. On a Seo scale, how important is it for you to win Seo games?
Not really important.
Okay, so what is really important for you?
Winning high school games.
Yeah, and getting better,
Yeah.
right? Getting better so that you can get more time on the court in high school games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm going to challenge you to do, and we'll talk about it more, is to make as many mistakes as you can in a SEO game while being aggressive. And this is why. If you can't be the best player on the court for a game that doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be the best player on the court for a game that does matter. And that's what you really want, because you told me you want to be an elite player. You were frustrated that you weren't playing at Milliken. This is like every time you step on a basketball court, really, imagine like, okay, let's just take school as an analogy, right? Imagine doing a lot of homework, just a lot of homework, a lot of practice work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then never getting it graded. How hard are you going to try on that homework? You're probably not going to try very hard because you realize, well, I'm not going to get a grade anyways. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
That's your mentality going into a game where you're like, I'm not going to get better. I'm just going to cruise through this game. It doesn't really mean anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go in with, well, I want to play hard. I want to be the best player on the floor because I need a grade when I get out of this to know how good I am. That's what those games are for. Okay.
All right.
I know it's going to be a while before we play a game, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk again. But I think that's my biggest takeaway for you, Sean.
Okay.
Is the ability to be aggressive in positions that you are comfortable in. All right.
All right.
Okay. So this session's over. You got some homework to do. When do you want to touch base again? And the next time we won't. Ideally, what we would do is you would play a game sometime before we meet again, and then I would be able to get time to watch that clip or that film, clip it up, and talk about it. We're not going to play a game for a while, but I do want to check in with you to see how everything's going. So when do you want to check in again?
I could check in like next week or whenever you're free, because I'm free pretty much all week.
Cool. Why don't we do next Friday as a check-in? It'll be quicker than this one because we won't be clipping anything up. It'll just be us talking. Cool?
Okay.
All right. And then hopefully you can play a game soon so that we can watch the film and then clip it up and then talk about it.
Yeah.
All right?
All right.
All right, man. Good session. Enjoy your weekend. I'm excited for all the things that you're talking about right now because I think it's going to make you a better player.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. All right.
All right. See ya.
See ya.